Okay, and I'm back. No, let's do 7, 8. Oh, I just skipped to 10. Okay, so let's look at 9 here in a second too. I'm gonna have to look it up on my screen as we go. Look at, it looks like 7, 8. Ooh, we skipped 9, so I will put 9 up there in just a second. Okay, so number 7 is the first one with parentheses. So to do parentheses, you want to distribute. If it helps you out, put that missing 1 in front of the x there, right? So when you do this, you want to multiply. 2 times 1x is going to give you 2x. And then 2 times -6, now we're breaking that apart, is going to give us -12, but we're going to write it down as a minus. We're not going to add extra stuff to that. Equals 16, all right? So we're going to exchange minuses and negatives. They do mean the same thing if we write them down if there's only one, okay? Now we're going to solve this just like we've been solving them, okay? And so here's our x right here. So we want to get rid of whatever is furthest away from it on the same side. So furthest away is the -12. So we're going to add 12 to undo it. Add 12 plus 12. Okay, so now we've got 2x equals 16 plus 12 gives us 28, right? And then we have 2x equal 28. So the last step is, for us right now, is always going to be either divide or multiply by the reciprocal. Well, there's no fraction, so we're going to divide by 2, and x equal 14. That's what we're going to get. Okay? All right, now, then we do decimals. Decimals really are the same way, okay? Just use your calculator to help you out if you need to. All right, so in this case, look, we have 2 x's and they are on the same side, all right? Since they're on the same side, we want to add like terms or combine like terms. So this is positive 7.3x plus 7.3x. I know it's plus because that's what's in the front of it. So if I add those together, use your calculator, 7.3 plus 7.3 is going to give us 14.6x. Bring down now, this is minus 1.5 equals still 14.5. All right, let's go about, and I'm going to erase this anyway. Let's go about undoing what we have there so that we can finish the problem. So x is next to the 14.6, so that's going to be last. So the first thing we're going to undo is the subtract 1.5. So we're going to add it to undo it, and we're going to add it over here. Okay, so 14.6x equals, well, 14.5 plus 1.5 should give you 16. All right, even though there's a decimal at the end, we're either going to multiply by the reciprocal or divide. Well, there's no fraction there, so we're going to divide. Divide by 14.6, divide by 14.6. And of course, I don't know that right off the top of my head, so I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator here on my phone. 16 divided by 14.6 equals, and this one gives you a big long decimal, it's about equal to 1.095, and then there's a bunch of other 8, 9. You could round that. If you were going to round it to the nearest tenth, it would be about 1.1. Okay, perfect. Now, give me a second. I'm going to have to erase this because I have this little tiny board, and I have to rewrite our next ones here. And I don't have a real eraser. I have to use this silly little rag here. Okay. Oh, and it doesn't work all that well. Halt a second. Let me get it wet. Be right back. Luckily, I'm in my kitchen, so the sink is right behind the screen here. Okay. Whew. I'm a little out of breath. Part of the medication that I'm on makes me get out of breath kind of easily. So if I sound out of breath, I probably am. But let's hope that medicine's helping me out. Okay, so let me look on my screen here. And number 9, it looks like says 5/4x plus 3/4x equals 18. So let me write that in. Oh, I gotta dry that off. All right, so number 9 is 5/4 x plus 3/4 x equals 18, right? And then let's look at 10 while we're here too. So number 10 is going to be probably one of the most challenging ones if you don't like fractions. 1/5 x plus 16/10 x equals, let's see, -36. And I'm going to show you some strategies for doing these, okay? All right, so here we go. Ooh, that's a little blurry. I'm sorry about that. If there's the same denominator, okay, these are easy. All you have to do is add like terms. There's 2 x's here. Same denominator means we're going to keep it, and we really just add those top numbers, okay? So 5 plus 3 gives me 8. Leave the bottom the same if it's already the same. And then put your x back on equals 18. And you're already to the end of the problem, right? See, there's the x and there's just one fraction next to the x, right? So what do we do when we have a fraction at the end? We multiply by the reciprocal, all right? So let's do that. So the reciprocal would be to multiply by 4/8. That cancels and cancels, right? So we're going to multiply this by 4/8. Go ahead and do that in your calculator. Type in 18 times parenthesis 4 divided by 8 equals, and what do you get? Do you get 9? You should get 9. If you didn't, what you typed is 18 times parenthesis 4 divided by 8 equals, and that should give you 9. Ooh, watch my head. Okay, let's do this challenging one. Let's see if I can get you a little closer here. Hopefully we can. Okay, if you have fractions and the denominator is not the same, you're going to have to make the denominator the same first, all right? So if I look at these two denominators, what can I do to them to make them the same, right? So can I make 5 into 10? Like, what would I have to multiply by to make 5 into 10? It's 2, right? And if you don't know, you're going to have to check in your calculator, right? So if I can do that, I can make this into tens if I were to multiply the 5 by 2, so times 2, right? So that means I have to do the top times 2 as well, all right? So 1 times 2 is 2. Put that x back on there, and then let's keep what we have here, 16 over 10x equals -36. Now, guess what? We have the same thing we had up here where we have the same denominator. So all we have to do, since these both have x's on them, is add like terms, okay? So 2 plus 16 is really 18. Ooh. Keep that denominator of 10. Ooh, let's zoom that down. X equals -36. And now we have a fraction at the end again. We just have a fraction, then the letter, and then an equal sign and the other side. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. All right, so times 10 over 18, that's our reciprocal. So that cancels out. Times this side by 10 over 18. All right, and let's type that in. That one I don't know off the top of my head, so I'll have to do that. So -36 times 10 divided by 18, and that I get -20. Did you get -20? Hopefully you did. Okay, so let's call that for the second video, and then hopefully I'll just do one more, maybe 2. We'll see. Okay, hopefully this is helping.